So accepting an award for their hard work in crime analysis is Sergeant Venice Gale.
Step up on the fence, so he's not so tall. One more.
Another example of our partnership with the community is our auxiliary unit. These are folks that put on the same uniform as all our officers, but they do it on their own time. They volunteer. The officer who runs that unit, the auxiliary coordinator is Officer Angel Lopez, and with him is Lieutenant Ortiz.
Thank you.
I spoke about roadway safety a short time ago, how almost 30, I think it was 29 less pedestrians were struck on the roadways of the city of New York. That's due to the hard work of our traffic safety unit. The officers work very hard, really doing a thankless job, and a very dangerous one. And their supervisor accepting an award for them, and also our training sergeant, Sergeant Tahira Jackson.
Show the plaque. One more.
The 25th Precinct Domestic Violence Unit has a really special job. They keep some of our most vulnerable victims, high propensity violator victims, children at risk, elderly victims. They keep them safe, and they visit them, and they visit them, and they visit them, and then I ask them to visit them some more in order to keep people safe. Domestic violence is something that's pretty important, extremely important. As it's explained to me, if a stranger walks up to you and punches you in the eye, your eye, gets a bruise, but it'll heal. If a loved one punches you, walks up to you and punches you in the eye, again, your eye will heal. Your self-esteem may not. Your ability to trust, your ability to love may not. So these guys, they work, they have a real important population of victims that they deal with, and they work very hard, and I demand a great deal of them. So I believe we have the whole unit here, which is great. Sergeant Vincente Rodriguez, Detective Edgar C.R., P.O. Luis Morales, and P.O. Luis.
Everybody try and get up on the stage. Move forward just a little. Hold it back up.
Yes.
Gonna take about 4 shots.
Beautiful.
One more, and thank you.
We started a new impact unit last year about this time. Last year, just after New Year's. We had them deployed in the southern part of Sector Boyd where those of us in the precinct know that's really the busy sector that generates a lot of our 911 calls, and almost about 40 to 45% of our index crimes. We deployed them on a horrible tour, 1930 by 04, 05. We've improved their hours a little bit the last few weeks or so and moved them around, but for that year, from early January of 2014 to January 11th, I believe it was, 2015, they effected a 30% decrease in the amount of major crimes in the area where they were deployed. So they did a fantastic job. Officers, again, at the onset of their career, really did a nice job. So accepting the Appreciation Award for Impact is Officer Blanchfield and Officer Gowanagin.
Back a little higher, please. One more. One more. Thank you.
Our conditions unit in the precinct generally goes to some of the dirtiest places in the precinct for their work and helps clear up some of the most problematic quality of life conditions. Accepting the Appreciation Award for our conditions unit is my old buddy from the 4th, Sergeant Mario Morales. We have a pretty good street narcotics unit here at the precinct as well. And accepting the Appreciation Award for our street narcotics unit, Sergeant Daryl Milhato, and our Special Ops Lieutenant, Lieutenant Chip Ward.
Get up on the stage. Get up on the stage. One more, and thank you. Thank you.
Yes. Z, as I call him, Ahmed. I won't even try his first name. Most people just call him Ahmed, but our crime prevention officer, I task him with a lot of stuff. You know, he's got to keep track of all the 61s, what's going on in the precinct at any one time, and kind of tailor flyers, tailor different programs to exactly what's going on. And then I ask him to go out and find the populations, whether it's in an old age home, an assisted living center, a church, but find the population in the precinct, find the people that are having that problem, make sure we let them know what they can do to help us help them not be victims of crimes. In addition, I always ask him, he knows, you know, when there's an elderly crime victim, he's the guy I'm asking to go out, touch base with this person, make sure we touch base with a family member of theirs that can take care of them. So he does a great deal of work. Thank you so much. So Z Ahmed, crime prevention. Our school unit provides an invaluable service, dealing with students, doing truancy patrols, and touching base with the principals and school safety, maintaining liaison with them so we know what's going on with schools, making sure we know if there might be a problem after schools, etc. It's a great unit in the precinct. P.O. Juan Rodriguez is here to accept the appreciation award. Our anti-crime team, supervised by Sergeant Mike Black-Larkins, they basically go, I've asked them to go where the violent crime is happening, to go after the guns, to intercede in the fights that we think might happen, the shootings, the gang violence, etc. And they're out there every night doing that, and they do a great job. Sergeant Mike Black-Larkins, P.O. Damian Banks, Police Officer Frankie Solar, Police Officer Jonathan Canizaro, and Police Officer Steve Ball.
One more, one more.
Thanks. Very slow. All right, we have representatives here of our precinct detective squad. Detective Gwendolyn Booker and Police Officer Paul Pastorini. The squad, you know, for those of you who don't know exactly how a precinct runs, you know, they follow up on the preliminary investigations and go out and catch bad people. They do a great job, our squad. It's supervised by Lieutenant Kevin Sherlock, but accepting on behalf of the precinct detective squad is Detective Booker and Police Officer Pastorini.
One more, one more. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. And I just want to recognize a handful of officers for their heroic duty on the morning of March 12th, when we had the horrible building explosion. When 2 buildings were leveled, 8 people from 7 families were killed. It's really probably my proudest moment as CO to 25. I was there, I think, for about 5 or 6 months. I didn't really know everybody or that many people yet. But I was incredibly proud because when that explosion went off, I was at my locker changing and I finished putting on my uniform and ran downstairs thinking that I would have to run through the building and say, you know, everybody get out, let's go see who we can help. What I actually did was run through an empty building because mostly everybody who was in that building had already, I was steps behind and I was trying to catch up to them. They were already on their way down southbound on Park Avenue running towards the flames and the rubble and the smoke. Really very, very proud moment for me. So, again, in recognition of their brave response that terrible morning, Sergeant William